Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Radio today from Men Need to Be Heard. Shout outs to Dan.
So a regular viewer sent me this article about men needing to lower their standards on dating apps.
This is the whole it's embarrassing to be with men thing. Now men need to lower their standards.
An article which was written by one Andrew Cord and published in the New York Post this past summer. And yes, you heard me right. Not women, but men need to lower their standards on dating apps, according to a new study and the article. I mean, let that sink in.
Is it because we see how fat you are and then we swipe no because you look fat? Because we don't like fatties. Just saying.
In for a second. Because clearly it's the men making all those videos, demanding 6 feet, 6 figures, 6 packs, and 6 inches of, let's go with resume, before they'll even consider talking to someone, let alone dating them. Yeah, okay,
It's
sure.
us. Our fault.
Well, stay tuned as we take this study and this article apart, one standard at a time. So, as you can plainly see, this headline says a new study proves that men aim too high on dating apps, that men are the ones out here
And it's a man that wrote this.
swinging for women way out of their league. And that's why they're not getting any matches. And of course, the solution, gentlemen, is for you to humble yourselves and accept your place. To, as The Rock used to say back in the day, know your role and start swiping on women that you're not attracted to. Because nothing says healthy relationships like forced attraction and social engineering. Pretty romantic, no? So let's actually look at this study, its claims, and how they went about coming to their conclusions. It studied about 3,000 users on a Czech dating app. Yeah, you heard that right. A whopping 3,000 total people from just one Eastern European country, using just one app's algorithm. And from that, they decided and drew conclusions that it was applicable to all men and women throughout the world. Yeah, that small sample from one tiny little country.
I was going to say 3,000. That's nothing.
It represents exactly how men think, feel, and operate everywhere else in the world. Put another way, we're supposed to draw conclusions about men, all men, from one tiny, minuscule, random sampling. Cool beans, way to go. Totally not a stretch at all. Oh, and just what exactly did they measure, you ask? Well, it wasn't character, it wasn't effort, it wasn't loyalty.
Fatness.
No, they measured desirability based on how often people got swiped on.
That's it?
Basically
What?
it. That was the entire study. So the app decided who's hot based on who gets swiped on, and then those running the study came to the conclusion that men chase hot women. I mean, I don't know how much money was funded for this so-called study, but I could have told you that.
Men also chase every woman. They usually chase 50%. That is how big of a range men have. It's a 50% range. You could be a 9 to a 4 and you'll probably still fit within the range.
Be the conclusion without studying a single shred of data. But they didn't stop there. Oh no, they extrapolated, which is basically academic speak for saying they twisted the data to fit the conclusion they wanted the study to have before they even began it. In this case, so they could say that men needed to lower their standards, while women need to keep doing what they're doing. Yeah, that's what it said. And
It's just funny to me. It's like, so women hardly ever match with men. They're the ones that are not swiping on men. Wouldn't that just tell you how picky women are?
that's not based on science. That's a hamster wheel with a peer-reviewed sticker. And this is where it gets even better, because regular people read this and went, yeah, no, that's complete and utter nonsense. Something anyone who spent 5 minutes on, say, Insta or TikTok could tell you without even looking. One commenter said average men get fewer swipes than obese, unemployed women.
Correct.
Factually true. So does that mean he should lower his standards? Think about it. By their own metric, men already rank lower on these apps, yet somehow men are still the ones being told to aim lower. Another person said, women are the product on these dating apps. Men swipe, women get picked.
Yep.
That's not bitterness. That's exactly how the business model works. Always
They know
has
what their
worked.
model is.
Always will work. It's why dating apps market to men and retain women. Also, they can monetize.
I mean, it's very similar to the club aspects of things. They let women in for free to fill up the club to attract men. Same thing with the dating apps.
Male attention. Yet again, somehow this study and the media are spinning this into men are just too picky. I mean, it's laughable, isn't it? The reality is that this study basically proves that the exact opposite of what is being claimed is true. As another comment said, and in the process nailed perfectly, because women get more swipes, even at lower levels, this actually shows men have lower desirability. But yeah, okay. Again, it's the men who should lower their standard.
Like normal average people are looking at the study itself and coming with their own conclusion that is opposite of the study. Sad.
I mean, the authors of the study basically said as much in the study, though it ended up getting twisted to make it the men who are to blame, not the women, which I'm sure shocks no one watching this, right? If women are already getting more attention, have more options and more matches, then who exactly are the ones being selective here? Because it's not us men, it's the women. And further down in the comments on the article, someone dropped the most honest line of the whole thread, saying, go spend one day using a male profile on Tinder and see what you'll get. That's it. That is the experiment.
And you can use like the Chads of Chads and you'll maybe get a few matches, right? And I'm talking about like you're using the best looking man possible and all the profile with like very perfect pictures. Still only a few compared to women who be fat and frumpy. As soon as you get on the app, you already got like 100 matches in a day.
No study required, no journal needed. Just try living on the male side of the algorithm for, say, 24 hours. Because unless you're 6 feet tall with six-pack abs, a six-figure income, and are packing a minimum of 6 inches down under, you'll get 0 matches, 0 messages, and 0 validation. We all know that. So yeah, please tell me again how men are the ones being too selective. And another thing that needs...
Again, the story or / article doesn't even make sense. As if men and women can't look at it and be objective themselves. It's trying to lie too much.
To be mentioned, and a question that begs to be asked is, why are we acting like Czech dating culture applies to us here in the States, or those in the UK, or say even India or Japan?
True.
Look, nothing against the Czechs at all, but hello, different cultures, different dating norms, different expectations. Yet the headline slapped what appears to happen in the Czech Republic onto all men like it's a universal truth. What's next? Are we going to say that because Czechs eat a lot of borscht, that it's not burgers, fries, and apple pie that Americans prefer to eat, but clearly the beet soup? Yeah, okay, no. Clearly the goal of the study and the article isn't accuracy, it's narrative. And that's really what this is all about. This is really what's going on. It's not about helping men date better. It's about...
It never is, Dan. We're not that dumb. We know none of these articles that ever mention men. Men are struggling with this and that. No, they don't care to help us. They just actually are writing these articles to poke fun at us.
Protecting fragile female
and shame
egos.
us.
Because saying maybe women's expectations are unrealistic is socially forbidden. But saying men are delusional and just need to settle is perfectly acceptable. It's safe, it's approved, it's clickable. I mean, how dare we tell the 170-odd million women in the United States that they're all competing for a little less than 10,000 men, half of whom are already taken, and half of the other half who are probably gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, no. Let's put it all on the men instead, right? Let's make sure the blame gets assigned in the only direction that is acceptable so we don't trigger outrage. Let's be honest. Men already swipe broad, probably too broad. That's a given, and we do so because we know it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Men have already compromised on looks, already carry the burden of initiation. Men know that in the end, it is that numbers game, plain and simple. And when it still doesn't work, the solution isn't maybe that the system is broken, it's that men should want less. Lower attraction, lower standards, low expectations. That's what they want us to believe. They want men to believe they should just be grateful that someone, anyone, matches with you.
Yeah, we're just Neanderthals, according to them.
That's not dating advice, that's condescension and conditioning.
Correct.
But having said all that, then there's the reality, the chef's kiss, if you will, of what's happening out in the real world. Because now, times they are a-changing. Men are now the prize, like it or not. Millions of them have already walked away, and the rest that remain...
I get comments and messages from you guys. I even have friends within my own life that are kind of like, yeah, you know what? You talk about that MGTOW stuff. I think I'm part of it now. And I'm like, hey, I don't hate on it. I don't hate on it. You know, like, because a lot of my friends moved about thirsty. They moved about way too thirsty out there. But now that they're kind of pulling back, I think they're seeing the value of pulling back, not spending so much money on women, kind of hanging out with the boys a little bit more, and just focusing more on future projections of growth than women.
Are made up primarily of Chad, Ricos, and Tyrones. Or Beggar Bobs.
Is Rico the Hispanic one?
Panda Bear Pete.
What's the Asian one? Is it Chang?
And Sam the Simps. None of whom women actually want to be in long-term relationships with. So no, men don't need to lower their standards. Women do. Men do need to stop accepting narratives that blame them for dynamics they didn't create. Men need to stop internalizing shame for not winning in a system designed to concentrate attention at the top.
I can say men do need to step up if they want certain things. Like I said, if you want a family, you want certain things, yeah, focus on leveling up your life. Focus on, you know, getting better, making more money, getting promotions, whatever it is. If you don't care for those things, still focus on that. Like, focus on making your life better. Who cares about the women? Make it so you drive your nice sports car, you live in a nice house, you have a pool in the backyard when it's hot. You. And then someone, if you find and you deem them worthy, gets to come in and enjoy those amenities with you.
And men definitely don't need lifestyle journalists telling them who they're allowed to be attracted to or not. Because attraction is not a social justice program, and relationships are not charity work. All right, let me know what you think on the subject.
I'm 100% with Dan. Men need to be more picky. Men need to have standards. I don't think a lot of men even created standards for themselves. They just, whatever girl pays me attention, that's it. And it's not a bad way to go about it, but there's women that will pay you attention to just use and abuse you too. So you have to have standards, raise standards, and always push your standards out. Never let anybody cross them without consequence. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.